Let's start off with c4 this time. Esquivel Pablo. Playing a symmetrical arrangement. Put the bishop and the knight to cover the d5 square, although he can play d5 at any time. And I can play d5 too, I think. Yeah, he got it first. I mean, d4 for me, d5 for him. So if he takes here, I'll take with the b pawn. So let's go ahead and play d4. It could leave me with a little bit of a ragged structure over here on the queen side, but I'll have open lines for the bishop. So there's compensation there. That is, I mean, there's choices here, right? I could take with the pawn as well. That would give me more center control. Taking with the knight, though, opens up this diagonal for this bishop, and then this bishop also has good diagonals. Kind of like that. So he doesn't want me to do that. Well, at some point I'll just have to take back with a pawn, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to move that. Not going to move that knight, and I want to get castled. There's nice pressure on this diagonal here. I could move the knight now. Now I have an idea. If I put the bishop here, it supports the knight on this c7 square. I was just checking. You know, there's always things like that. There's no check, at least, because he could push this pawn. That's probably the right answer. Oh, he trades queens. Okay. Ah, so he's asking if I want to trap my knight. If I go here, the knight, the rook could go here. Looks a bit funny, but then my knight is trapped. So eventually I did have to take with the pawn. So I have this funny pawn structure where I have an extra pawn in the center and he has an extra pawn on the queen side. And here, let's gang up on that pawn. So he defends it. Okay, now I could play e4. Oh, I could take his... that's the purpose of the bishop here. I could take his rook. He's going to play on, okay. I can keep taking stuff. It's my rook. Well, at least the rooks are defending each other, so the best he can do is, yeah, an exchange sack there. Let's retreat this bishop. See if he really wants to give up his light squared bishop for a rook. He does. Okay, so now I have an extra bishop and an extra pawn instead of having an extra rook. Going to bring my bishop here. Yeah, I was hoping to bring this bishop here. He moves a pawn forward, and then I bring this bishop here, but he forced me to do it ahead of time. So I admire his initiative in playing on here, but I don't believe there's any point to it. This bishop is coming here now. He can't defend that pawn. He can't check my king. Having eliminated one of his bishops, it means my rook is always safe if it's on a light square. You know, safe from the bishop anyway. And my king is relatively safe on the light square too. If he could somehow coordinate his bishop and his rook on this square, that would be something. Okay, he resigned. I kept missing things there. Okay, well, maybe we can play a rapid game. Well, he plays like, he was playing like I do when I'm having a bad day. So I feel for him. I'm sure he's much better than that normally. Okay, Sicilian. Go for the classical. And he takes. Okay. Then he brings the bishop out. Yeah, he has enough force to stop me from playing d5 for the moment. So I'm going to play e6 and then play d5. I wanted to get d5 in when it was hitting the bishop so that he was not inclined to push the pawn forward and harass my knight. I don't like it when they kick your knight around. So he has to decide where. I mean, he can deliver a check. I will block with the bishop. And take with the queen. I mean, that's pretty natural, but also I want to keep this square under control and get castled because I don't want his knight hopping in there. Oh, it's a rapid game. I should slow down. Okay, so bishop takes, bishop takes. He has to move the queen. Let's go ahead and put the pawn there. I should take advantage of the rapid time control and think about my moves a bit. I was playing it like a Blitz game. I'm going to castle now. I mean, at some point he's going to put a rook on the e-file and try and exploit this pin. So let's go ahead and get the king off the e-file. And then put the rook here. That's another way to do it. This is another way to undermine my center, signaled by this king move, so that I don't have this skewer, which could be pretty nasty. Yeah, let's attack his pawn. If he pushes, I don't have to take. I could wait for him to take and then take back and keep a strong pawn on d5. And my other idea is after he plays b3, which is what I expect, I can put the rook here and the queen here and pile up on that knight. Yeah, he didn't play that. He didn't like my plan. So how about this for an idea? I line the queen and the rook up like this, and I bring the bishop out here, and I take the knight. But he just takes with the queen. Okay, I take the knight now. I mean, I could move the knight now and hit his queen. Ball. Can I? I can't do that. What am I thinking? No, the knight cannot move anywhere that hits the queen. I could put a rook here. And threaten to lift the rook. Anyway, yeah, if I had a battery here and I could force him to take with a pawn, then queen takes, rook takes, check. I guess he could bring the queen back. Okay. Let's kick that queen. If he goes here, I think I can trap it with the bishop. Oh, he can take there and hit my queen. Nice intermediate. Let's see. So I take the queen, he takes the queen, I take the pawn, he takes the bishop. So I need to take here. His queen, if it comes here, is still going to be trapped, though. What's going on here? There's also bishop here. Well, the queen's going to move, so bishop there won't make any sense pretty soon. So if the queen can't go here and here, it goes here, here, or back here. Just back there. So he likes to keep this pressure here. He's trying to avoid moving to a spot where the knight hits the queen. That would be cool if I could hit the... Okay, so he has a loose bishop here. So knight here. He takes my bishop. Take his knight. Queen takes. I mean, knight here to here has a nice fork. But his rook is there, so I was trying to open this up and distract his rook. Let's see. Rook here. Bishop takes. Rook here, check. I mean, knight here, check. Pawn takes. And I just have to figure out how to get the queen over here. There is a rook. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. It's one of those funny positions. It feels like there should be a tactic, but maybe there's not. So just knight here. If the knight takes, I can take with the rook. Bishop takes, I take back. $21.56. I didn't notice his rating. That's pretty good. I just noticed his queen is indirectly looking at this pawn. Maybe he also has ideas of grabbing that. So yeah, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes here. Oh, he has to take here too. Then the queen could take there. So yeah, he's looking for that best sequence. When he takes here, though, I have to take back with the rook. This pawn is pinned. There is this pin. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, it's dangerous to simplify a position against a strong opponent. They can play well. Usually, with fewer pieces, they can still play well. Everybody's different, of course, but aha, so he's not interested in grabbing a pawn. So I could put the rook here. Ah, I can't put the rook there. He's interested in grabbing a rook. Okay, and I don't want his queen coming to the back rank, so where to go? Maybe here. If his bishop, attacks this pawn, trying to take advantage of the pin, I can just move my bishop out of the way, and my queen defends. So I'm not worried about that. I was more worried about this rook putting it on a square that was relatively safe from his bishop. And yeah, I do like these. I could put it here. I like this idea I had earlier of a rook here and a rook here, but unfortunately he's got all of this under control. The idea was that if you push this pawn forward, the two rooks would coordinate on the b. on the b7 square. Maybe I put a queen out here. Just wants to take now. Yeah, I don't especially want to trade bishops. Although it's probably still about even, huh? Yeah, maybe queen here to here. If he moves his queen out of the way, I can look to get something there. And he can stop me from doing that, yeah. Once again, looking at this pawn, although I don't have... well, maybe I am threatening to take. And I'm not threatening to take because of the mate threat. I'm not threatening to take. But, yeah, it's pressure. Under pressure. I blocked the bishop. Maybe I can get my queen to this square. Playing hopscotch around the dark squares where his bishop is. Yeah, pressure here. Here. Okay, I could maybe take here at some point. It's defended by the queen now, of course. And when he pushes, there's trouble here. So it's nice that my queen is defending my rook. Useful that the queen is defending the rook. Okay. I could drop the bishop back here and bring this rook over here to counter the pressure on the f-file. That's an option too. But for the moment, he has to decide what to do about this bishop here. He doesn't. Oh, I can't take it because because of mate. Once again. I don't especially want to take, though, anyway. Let's think, though. I take, he takes back. If I take here, he mates me. Even though his rook is pinned. It's just a little bit of a timing problem. So I shouldn't take. Yeah, I could drop my bishop back here and bring a rook here. Still, I needed the queen to defend my rook. I couldn't take the bishop. If he takes the pawn, though, I will take his queen. Igor Irkutsk. Tricky player. If I had white, yeah, I would have just grabbed the pawn over here and gone for that endgame. He has a winning endgame with the pawns on the queen side. Once again, the queen has to find a square to move to. Goes there. Yeah, so if I take the bishop, he takes the rook. Let's see, can I move this rook with check? I can move this rook with check. I take the pawn, and he takes back with the queen, and I still can't take the bishop. But I could play rook here, maybe. Well, maybe I could do this now. Play rook here, forking pawn and bishop. Can trade queens. You can take here. Then he can take here. Looks like he'll come out a pawn up. Okay, let's see. Let's say I let him take my rook. I take the bishop, he takes the rook. Go here. Not working, really. So, rook here, queen takes queen, pawn takes queen, rook takes rook, king takes rook, rook over check, king here, and the bishop moves. And I take this pawn. I guess I get the pawn back. Unless there's some sequence here I don't see. Yep. He can take here. But he took the queen. Okay. Let's see if he goes for taking the rooks. So same number of pawns, but my pawns are a little more messed up in terms of the structure with the doubled pawns here. But I might get a passed pawn here. That might be worth something. And his pawns are not quite passed yet. Yeah, he took. Yeah, he moved the rook with check. So far, he's played all the moves. Now he's got to save the bishop, and I can take the pawn. Even if he plays bishop here, I can still take the pawn and defend my bishop. Okay, so rooks belong behind passed pawns. Let's see if he will allow me to straighten out my pawn structure here a bit. He will. Okay. Well, he was short on time, so maybe that's the factor here. Step forward, and then try and march these pawns down while using this bishop to hold these pawns in restraint. Yeah, would have been nice if I had managed to get my king here. I wonder, where is he going with that king? Nowhere. Okay, if he wants a draw, I'll take the draw. Because I didn't see a way to make progress. This is keeping me, if we go to the analysis board, this is keeping me from coming forward. The bishop and the pawn is keeping my king from coming forward. If I walk away too far, then this pawn can come through. With the king here, you know, I can play a move like this, but he just goes here, and then I can't ever push this one. I can even come around here, because if I push this, you can take here and then catch this on the next move. So I don't think there's any way to make progress. He might have tried maneuvering his bishop around to support these pawns, but then this guy becomes weak. So when I leave these pawns here, it's hard for him to approach with the king. He might have tried, let's see, he might have tried marching around like this. But he has to go back eventually and stop them. Let's see, what would happen if he tried to go after the bishop? Or this pawn? Now he has to give up the bishop. And he's got to step aside. Die queen first. Yeah, so if white gets too adventurous, it turns it into a loss. That's my estimate. Let's look at this final position before the threefold repetition. And turn on the computer and see what it thinks. So I did here, he went here, and then we started repeating. So is there a move here? No, it's all 0-0s. Okay, so it was a fair draw. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye now.